Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sometimes, it's not the big, dramatic moments that stay with fans the longest. It's not the red carpet smiles, the scripted interviews, or the carefully rehearsed fan service. More often than not, it's the quiet moments that weren't meant to be noticed at all. The ones that slipped through the cracks, captured only because a camera happened to be rolling, and because fans know exactly where to look. Recently, fans believe they spotted one of those moments between Lee Min-ho and Kim Go Eun. At first glance, it seemed insignificant. A small movement, a subtle shift in body language. Something most people would scroll past without a second thought. But for fans who have followed these two for years, that single gesture raised more questions than answers, and once people noticed it, they couldn't stop talking about it. What made this moment so different wasn't what happened on the surface, but the feeling behind it. It didn't feel rehearsed. It didn't feel intentional. It felt instinctive, and that's exactly why fans are still rewatching it. The moment occurred during a public appearance where Lee Min-ho and Kim Go Eun were standing side by side. Everything about the setting was ordinary. They were surrounded by people, cameras flashing, staff moving around them. Both actors were calm, composed, and professional, as they always are. But then, in a brief second that many initially missed, Lee Min-ho made a subtle move toward Kim Go Eun. It wasn't dramatic. He didn't speak. He didn't look directly at her. Instead, he shifted slightly closer, adjusting his position in a way that felt protective rather than performative. It was the kind of movement people make without thinking, the kind you don't plan because it comes from awareness rather than intention. Fans immediately began slowing down the clip. Frame by frame, they analyzed the distance between them before and after. They noticed how Kim Go Eun's posture subtly relaxed afterward. They noticed how neither of them acknowledged the movement, as if it was completely natural to both of them. And that's when the question started. Why did he move closer at that exact moment? Why did it look less like a gesture for the cameras and more like something personal? And why did Kim Go Eun respond not with surprise, but with comfort? What's important here is the history between Lee Min-ho and Kim Go Eun. Their chemistry didn't begin in real life. It began on screen, where they portrayed characters bound by fate, sacrifice, and quiet understanding. Their performances were praised not because of grand romantic gestures, but because of the small details. A glance held a second too long. A pause before speaking. The silence between words that carried more emotion than dialogue ever could. Fans who watched them together learned to pay attention to those details, and that's exactly why this moment stood out. In the clip, Lee Min-ho doesn't check the cameras before moving. His eyes don't dart around to see who's watching. He simply shifts, placing himself slightly closer to Kim Go Eun as the crowd presses in. It's subtle enough that it could be dismissed as coincidence, but intentional enough that fans couldn't ignore it. Kim Go Eun, for her part, doesn't step away. She doesn't stiffen. Instead, her shoulders drop just a little, as if reassured. It's a reaction that happens when someone feels safe, not when someone feels surprised or uncomfortable. That's where the speculation comes in, but what makes this moment compelling is that it doesn't demand an answer. It simply invites one. Fans aren't claiming anything definitive. They aren't insisting on hidden relationships or secret confirmations. What they're responding to is the authenticity of the interaction. In an industry where so much is controlled, rehearsed, and filtered, authenticity feels rare, and when it appears, people recognize it instantly. Social media quickly filled with comments from fans sharing the same observation. Some pointed out how Lee Min-ho has always been attentive to the people around him, especially his co-stars. Others noted that Kim Go Eun has a calm confidence that seems to grow when she's around people she trusts. Together, those traits created a moment that felt quietly meaningful. What's fascinating is how this single gesture has taken on so many interpretations. Some fans see it as a sign of deep respect between two professionals who shared an intense project and still care about each other's comfort. Others view it as a reflection of a bond that goes beyond work, something formed through long hours on set and emotional storytelling. And then there are fans who simply see it as a human moment, one person unconsciously looking out for another in a crowded space. Perhaps that's why this moment resonates so strongly. It doesn't force a narrative. It allows viewers to bring their own experiences and emotions into it. Anyone who has ever stood beside someone they trust knows that feeling, the unspoken understanding that says, "I'm here." Lee Min-ho has often been described as thoughtful and observant, someone who pays attention to details others might miss. Kim Go Eun, on the other hand, is known for her grounded nature and emotional intelligence. When those qualities intersect, even the smallest interaction can feel significant. What makes fans return to this clip isn't the hope of confirmation, but the comfort of familiarity. It reminds them why they connected so deeply with these actors in the first place. Not because of rumors or headlines, but because of moments that feel real. It's also worth noting how both Lee Min-ho and Kim Go Eun have consistently maintained professionalism in the public eye. They don't fuel speculation. They don't lean into rumors. They let their work speak for itself. That restraint adds weight to moments like this, because nothing about it feels exaggerated or intentional. If this had been a grand gesture, fans might have dismissed it as fan service. If it had been obvious, it wouldn't have sparked discussion. But because it was small, because it was quiet, and because it happened without acknowledgement, it feels genuine. In many ways, this moment reflects why audiences remain so invested in them years after their project together ended. It's not just nostalgia. It's the sense that what they shared on screen was built on real trust and mutual respect. As more fans revisit the clip, the conversation continues to grow. Some notice new details each time. The timing, the spacing, the body language. Others simply comment on how comforting it feels to watch, even without knowing why. And maybe that's the point. Not every moment needs an explanation. Not every gesture needs a label. Sometimes, the reason fans can't stop talking is because the moment feels honest in a world that rarely allows honesty to slip through unnoticed. Whether this gesture meant something deeply personal or was simply an instinctive act of courtesy, it reminded fans of something important. Behind the fame, the roles, and the public image, there are real people responding to each other in real time. And in that brief second, Lee Min-ho and Kim Go Eun reminded everyone that sometimes the smallest gestures say the most. That's why fans are still talking. Not because they were given answers, but because they were given a moment that felt true. And as long as moments like that continue to surface, people will keep watching, rewatching, and wondering, not because they want a story to be confirmed, but because they appreciate the quiet beauty of something unscripted.